Abusia yebema obi biara akwa ababiom na se ye to aso a na chese Ghana ha se no yenim se ade ba ko a edi enya pa ene Galamsey na Galamsey nsem nso trend pa na nsia esanse obi bisa se Sammy Gyamfi no adenti na akoye se nkofo eni ewo no so sa esanse de bia ye kan Galamsey ho asem na se GoldBod's nsensem be mu pene de protest ena nkofo twe se be ya Sammy Gyamfi yenyi no emfi ni position a okura mu esanse ejuma a oye ne sebe enso ani na out of a year interview bi a ekoso ena brantie bi purchase say about 75% of gold a na GoldBod's for no etono ade omoto efi illegal miners and chain I say 85% no almost say omoto fi illegal miners and chain and as Sammy Gyamfi say asem amukin die monto mo was na mechire mu enti moma yen kan die wo ye screens ne so na afede yen to aso I say Ghana GoldBod's accused of buying 85% gold from unlicensed miners inti yesi omoto gold no every illegal miners nsem yen so a yesi yen aye ko edi etia illegal mining inti eba ne sen na obi a wo ko etia bibi no sankofo na wo ko etia omo no omo nchem na wo kwakoto gold no edi wunyuma inti yen kan o say policy analyst Kofi Bentel has accused the Ghana GoldBod's of sourcing 85% of its gold from unlicensed miners, thereby supporting illegal Galamsey operations despite its regulatory mandate. Into your say GoldBod's ye di musi ho se ne be anka mo betumi aboa na illegal mining na Galamsey se ne ye friend no anka no be brass ana se ye se ne ye pe no kwa anka ebe figa na ha kwa mpo ala nke ebe boa ye pa nenso enya sa na ye hu no ono ni hwehwemu ba ko mienu bi a wa ye no kire se mo gold bebre na moto no that is 85% no motor edifisa illegal miners and chain. Now, I see GoldBod's CEO, that is Sammy Gyamfi, denied the claim, asserting that the board only purchases from licensed small-scale miners and is developing a traceability system to verify sources. And until Sammy Gyamfi so abe na no kan purchase debi asem no enye se ne yehu no se ne Kofi Bentel kan no enye sa kra na emom no omo no moto edifi omo a omo nim se omo nyuma no ya mom nkrata aban amom ho kwan se omo ni gold hu adwuma no sankofo no ene ye tofi omo nchen na emom enye illegal miners no yento aso na yen kan yen o say this dispute arises amid GoldBod's role in facilitating over $2 billion in exports since May 2025, while illegal mining continues to cause significant environmental harm in Ghana. Enunti we nyina no ade a yenim se Ghana ha se no yensuo yensase yenua bebre na ne no ba yempo say enam sa Galamsey nsem ene hu nkomobo eno ene de sa ade we eba ya ema ye hu se bibi sa ewo ho no ma chese GoldBod's for no eto gold efi baby ena all purchase se ewo mu se GoldBod's impenifo to gold de ne momo no omo ntom fi Galamsey for ensem omo bo mo hu modern se omo beto efi omo a omo companies anaya mom nkrata aban ensa ahase emom tumi se omo ntu gold wa Ghana ha se no sankofo ni bi ene ya mom kwansa enti yentie se ne odi ntwemu no eba ya na enibere kakra ewo mu esanse ntwanto so de se ne obi beka no etobi ho no ma eya.
Hello,
I can hear you, Alfred.
yes, there's a quick intervention that you're saying specific about where you are buying the gold from, GoldBod's. Where are you buying the gold from?
Yeah, Alfred, thank you, and a very good morning to your esteemed panelists and your cherished viewers across the world. My attention has been drawn to a false statement that one of your panelists, specifically Mr. Kofi Bentel, has made about the sources of gold purchases of the Ghana
Ebusia movanche yenya issues kakra ewo audio ni hunti no yentumi emmoni nyina emma yente senia anka yepese ye hunu no ehun se yenye de ye kan asema na ya kire mu nti no na yepese yenya source no directly senia nipa na kan ye no na wonso wati bi na enkoye de se obi enese de bi na mum yepese uhu bebi asem na nkasa efrie no nti Sammy Gyamfi voice no yentumi ammo na mum no wabedi na yi claims a patche se enya no kreda se omotogo no edi efri illegal miners for ensem debi omo de omo yire omo ho no se Kofi Bento no ye ne nwanwa se Kofi Bento ebetumi etena TV3 so kan nsem o kan ye nation se wo key point ye show no so no ye Kofi Bento omo ye interview no kan sansem no ba je se emre bi etwemu na NPP aban ewo so satam no na ye gold for oil, gold for forest. Samre na Dr. Mahmudu Baumia manage sa niama no. Kofi Bento ya ante won kanda. Wa ma meken bibia da. Eba ne sen na enemom yewo GoldBod's amra eta GoldBod's for echi omudi ye juma emra ehye omo kete se omo nto gold no emfemfi omo emra ga na mra ebo mechi do omo so omo nye gold ho adwuma no eba ne sen ene wo ba betena se akase sa nkofo ni mom Sammy Gyamfi ne nkofo ni mom na afa de omo to gold na fi illegal miners nsan o se dabi asem we de o kan na chese we ndi no kra na o kan so na wanye ni ye san se nya atwom bi na wo pese wo kire Ghana for fragadam bi nso na opese wutum futuro bi digu Ghana for enime sanse nyama bi wo ho no ma na nokra ne de da ho na ya den ya ka no pepepe enti no yenya audio no back ne yenko tie se ne asem no nyina etie.
Hello.
I can hear you, Alfred.
Yes. There's a quick intervention that you're saying specific about where you are buying the gold from, GoldBod's. Where are you buying the gold from?
Yeah, Alfred, thank you, and a very good morning to your esteemed panelists and your cherished viewers across the world. My attention has been drawn to a false statement that one of your panelists, specifically Mr. Kofi Bento, has made about the sources of gold purchases of the Ghana GoldBod's. I understand that he stated categorically that about 85% of small-scale miners in the country are Galamseyers, and therefore 85% of the gold being purchased by GoldBod's by inference is coming from Galamseyers. I want to put on record that that statement is totally false. Mr. Bento should not be allowed to get away with such falsehood on a very important platform such as Key Points on TV3. For the records, GoldBod's is a creature of law. The Ghana GoldBod's was established under Act 1140 passed by Parliament in 2025. That law provides for how and where GoldBod's must buy gold. And if you read it, you will find out that GoldBod's by law is mandated to only buy gold from licensed miners. We buy gold, and Mr. Pinaxtv, who is the head of the Chamber of Mines, will attest to you that there are about 7 large-scale mining companies in Ghana that GoldBod's currently buys 20% of their gold. I'm talking about large-scale mining companies. And we buy this gold to shore up our gold reserves. Number 2, when it comes to small-scale miners, the law requires the GoldBod's to buy gold or the gold produced by licensed small-scale miners. Now, there are over 2,000 licensed small-scale miners in the country, and that is the primary source of all small-scale gold purchases of the GoldBod's. So the GoldBod's, by law and by policy, does not deal with illegal miners. We deal with licensed small-scale miners through the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners and the Concerned Small-Scale Miners Association. Now, this is a novelty. This has never happened in the history of Ghana, because since Ghana started producing gold, there has not been any legal and institutional framework that ensures that gold is purchased from licensed miners. So hitherto, you had individual licensees of the PMMC and or the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources buying gold from everybody, irrespective of the source. Then came 2022, when Kofi Bentel's friend, his political mentor, Bawumia, introduced the gold for oil and gold for forex program. I didn't hear Kofi Bentel ask Bawumia and the Bank of Ghana then where they were buying gold from for their gold for oil and gold for forex program. When we decided as a government and as a nation to go into gold purchases, created that legal and institutional framework that mandates us to only buy from licensed miners. Now, to enforce this legal injunction, the president has directed us to do what is provided for under Section 31F of the GoldBod's law, which is to establish a full value chain track and trace system. And the process has started, and we have already given timelines that by first quarter of next year, we will have a track and trace system, which has never happened since Ghana became Ghana. And this system will allow us to trace every gram of gold produced in Ghana and purchased by the GoldBoard to its origin mine. So Kofi Bentel lied on your show when he said that the GoldBoard gets 85% of his gold from illegal miners. It is not true. So we get our gold from the over 2,000 licensed miners in Ghana.
Right. When you make the point,
let me explain something to you, Alfred.
Quickly.
We, as a corporate entity, do not buy gold directly. We buy it from private licensees, like if it is in the Kuku area.
Right.
So it is possible that a private licensee of the GoldBoard, licensed buying agent of the GoldBoard, despite the legal requirements of them buying from only licensed small-scale miners, it is possible that you may get some of them breaching this legal provision. That is why we are introducing the track and trace system the president has been talking about, so that we can fish them out, we can segregate the gold, and we can ensure total compliance with this. So you shouldn't sit there and talk about things he doesn't know. Where did he get that figure 85% from?
Okay, so since you said your attention was drawn to it, a couple of things. I then would assume that you weren't watching at the time. When he made that statement, yes, I raised queries about that. But then you make a point about you don't buy gold directly from the miners, and that there is a possibility that the licensed gold buyers that you engage would breach the law that mandates that GoldBoard buys the gold from only licensed small-scale miners. There's that possibility that they may have bought from illegal small-scale miners that you are not directly aware of and you are not directly engaging. So that's a challenge. So,
my brother, are you aware of any perfect system anywhere in the world? You cannot have a perfect system anywhere in the world. We are saying that, first of all, understand how gold is bought.
Yeah.
Gold is bought in buying offices in district capitals and regional capitals and various towns across the country. Gold is not bought from mining sites. Okay? So when an individual buyer is sitting in his office in Koforidua and somebody brings nuggets of gold or gold in the form of a powder, that individual Ghanaian may not have the technology to detect whether that seller is a licensed miner or not. And it is the responsibility of government to put in place the systems that will ensure that that buyer is able to trace the source of that gold. I am saying that Kofi Bentel's friends were in power for 8 years. They started gold purchases under gold for oil and gold for forex. They did not introduce any such system.
Okay.
We, in less than 9 months, are introducing that system that will allow these individual licensed buyers of the GoldBoard buying gold for us to be able to detect the sources of the gold they buy.
So the traceability is what you are introducing.
Any objective person, Alfred, will comment. And you will not come and say they're throwing figures around.
So the traceability...
85% of small-scale miners are Galamsey. What is the
so the traceability is what you are putting in place now to identify this and address the challenge.
Did we ever have a conversation about traceability when Kofi Bento's mentor Bawumia was vice president and he was doing good for oil and good for forex? No, because they were buying gold without any proper institutional and legal framework. That is different from what is happening now under President Mahama. And he has given clear directives, and we are almost done with this track and trace system. But even in the absence of the track and trace system, go to our website. The terms and conditions of our license are clear. We don't buy gold from illegal miners, and we don't deal with illegal miners. We rather, at the time NIMOS was facing challenges with resources, we rather are giving financial and logistical support to NIMOS to go and fight illegal miners. Why will we do that? Can the kingdom divided among itself stand? And then you don't have any evidence, you don't have any data. You come and sit on national television and you throw a figure, which is a figment of your own imagination out there, that 85% of GoldBod's goods come from illegal miners. You should stop that propaganda.
Right. So that, Sammy, it's the points that you make about the traceability is the next phase of the conversation in dealing with this challenge. That's what you have identified.
First of all,
as well.
I want Mr. Pinaxtv, who is a key partner of the GoldBod there, and who currently is working on that.
Is seated here. In fact,
hold on.
Yes, he corroborates the point that you are making.
On the development of model LBMA certified model mines and refinery and all that, to educate Kofi Bento that GoldBod buys large-scale mining gold.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, GoldBod buys a small-scale gold by law from licensed small-scale miners. But we are not hypocrites. So we know that there are over 700 licensed buyers of the GoldBod who are scattered across the length and breadth of Ghana. Some of them may, at some points, be doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
And we want to be able to check them and make sure that they buy gold for us only from licensed miners.
All right.
That is why in record time, we are doing something which has never been done since the days of God's.
Okay.
And you think that we rather deserve criticism and not your friends, Bawumia and Akufo-Addo, who were in power for 8 years, doing gold for oil and gold for forex, without any traceability system, without any law, without any legal or institutional framework.
Engineer Dr. Pinaxtv, you reference is seated here on the engagement of the large scale that's companies in doing so Sammy, thank you very much.
And you see, I know that my brother and Minister for Government Communication is there.
So
and he will do justice
some of the issues that you have
to the issue you are discussing. So I only came in to respond
make this
to the issue, the allegation about GoldBod buying 80% of his goods from Galamsey.
Okay.
As for the issues about illegal mining, my good brother and Minister of Government Communication is there, and I know he will do justice.
Duly noted.
Abusia, where the old sister Sammy Gyamfi voice out to me say Nibera Bankasa. And yes, one casa with the one you born into. I said, Debbie. As I mean, no credit on Tana, my own can, Katasum, Mwasumbina, the Dutch in Nejuma Babono, Nejuma Bona, Okofia Deno, Kwakud, or Cesade and Nagana for your non pecra, a Kofi Bento, Senior maybe or how can or can ye sanse, MPP for ba Bemu, Dr. Bambu Baumia, a Juma, ya good for oil, ya good for forest, and one semi and Tibida. One man make us a more tired, dear Mutogo, dear illegal miners, for some that. To see Ampono or see GoldBod for a year be a fan of traceability. They are not able to me aboa my home. Maybe you'll be out to go if this and by a be who say we know a legal na say illegal na a legal not just so many home aquenia at no more na a discouraging illegal mining any Galamsey and says so mutu go new year no mania baby and Toma. Nature says see Juma no more no Jaya no nuntia baya so be by betina radio so na TV so can be via onya ne facts and figures right na onya source anaze onya bibia ebetumi abake ne claims enye keke se wa betina se na wabo ni tirim na waka se ne ope na odise bi egu obi ehu fi na osi emre bebre wo honoma obi ebetumi ede ato ne bo ase a build reputation enso da krope ene ede se obi reputation nti ene de waba abeyi na no acheche nsemo amagana fo nyina osi yenya ye ho entiase yanto aso e won nsemfufo ma na yeto aso e won nsemfufo ma Paul Adom Ochre eye Ghanaian media personality aye nyina ye nim se obone ho modern pa e wo media space ni mo na oni obi enya crash na nipo ni enya crash no the Minister of State in charge of government communication Ora Felix Kwachi Ofosu and Ora Felix Kwachi Ofosu and Paul Adom Ochre Asia was show be so good morning Ghana enano payampo na ene omushia ye no na so omo discuss interview so nim say show so the okot na che say ye bisa mo na che say ma cheche mo adwen ho na Ora Felix Kwachi Ofosu etutu bi de ma Paul Adom Ochre say Paul na say ne ya wo ye wo show so good evening Ghana no enye kra first no na mi tie o pa ye Felix Kwachi Ofosu na no all can say o say na mi tie o Ghana fo nyina tie o etiti ni ani ntiru nyina etie we sanse utumi to nsa frɛ omo munim de na odi omo ba wo good evening Ghana show ne so na afa de wa kyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm ma Ghana fo nyanti ase wo nyama bebre hu na nso na de akoye de say de why no partisan politics no akoye de say obesa o de score 2 points 4 points even as that chi bi say MPP 4 ba no mo position bi e de ama na so opese wo fa flag bearership position ana ene ebe ya nkeja na kofa bi ne hu se saa e na opese wo ye wo show ne so yenko tie se ne a Felix Kwachi Ofosu e kan nsem esify.
Well, Adom is host of Good Evening Ghana and a seasoned journalist and the former board chair of Ghana Airport Company Limited. Paul, good evening. Thank you. So that's a good evening. Good morning.
Good to see you. Well, you are used to him on Good Morning. Good Evening Ghana.
Yes.
Except that these days, I don't know what Good Evening Ghana is saying, but what is it?
I'm not seeing
it. Looks more like an MPP satirical show these days than the top and leading current affairs program that we had decades ago. This is Paul would have to explain.
No, that's fine. That's an opinion that you have.
Paul, it's not an opinion. You know, I'm an ardent. When I started politics actively, I was an active listener, and even if I disagreed with your positions on some issues, I respected the.
Well, as far as we are concerned, our ratings are better now.
No, amongst MPP supporters.
No, in general.
Amongst MPP supporters. Amongst MPP supporters.
No, you can. No. It's
what you do on Good Evening Ghana these days cannot pass for the credible current affairs, leading current affairs program on TV.
Why do you say?
No, what is that? Because that's become an MPP.
I'd like to respond to some of the
it has become no problem. Other one you have opportunity. But
so
these are
Good Evening
Ghana. These are plenary comments.
Yes, please.
Okay.
By nature, I am liberal in my thinking. So I am able to disagree with people and still respect what they stand for. So that Paul is MPP has always been known. It's not something that has not been known. But we still have respected the platform that he had on Good Evening Ghana, where leading figures, newsmakers, luminaries in society, everybody who matter, anybody who was anybody in this our socio-cultural setting, appeared to discuss important national matters. Then before long, especially when President Akufo-Addo rose to power, suddenly the thing has become an MPP outlet, where bizarre, sometimes outrageous propaganda is churned out. I mean, these days, he will go and pick Facebook posts of MPP propaganda and come and brandish it as fact. You know, and if you are not lucky, you will be dressed down on that show without any opportunity to even respond. So clearly, it is not what it used to be. Understand me? And it has nothing to do with the fact that he is MPP. Let me place that on record. The MPP is not a secret cult if you belong to the party. And it's also okay that now he has actually closed the loop and is now representing them on TV. Great. Okay. But he certainly must do something about Good Evening Ghana if he wants to go back to the period where it was a highly respectable. Currently, it is not. And surely, it cannot be a program that is enjoying great ratings. It is not. Great ratings amongst MPP supporters. Fine. Why not? If you have an outlet on TV, prime time on TV, you watch it as an MPP supporter. Okay. So I think that we should watch it carefully. Otherwise, it's a huge loss to your station, I must indicate, because people really tuned in. I watched.
Yes, but
I watched it. I watched it religiously because the quality of the discussion there was great. I mean, the likes of the late Akoto say will come in, and you will disagree, but you will respect the cadence. You will respect the authority that he brought. These days, that is not the case. There's not TV propagandists, one-sided narratives. You know,
well, it's. I mean, programs evolve, don't they?
But it has evolved. It has evolved in the wrong direction. To be honest with you.
Okay, but
it has evolved in the wrong
direction. Like you said, it says that's your opinion, so that's fine.
Of course, but it's an opinion that I'm sure many people will say.
Okay, Paul, you have some preliminary thoughts to share before we get into some specifics.
Yes, on two issues: the economic matter that the minister addressed, and also he talked about Good Evening Ghana. I think I have to respond to us. I see the minister describes himself as a former viewer of Good Evening Ghana. Now we are putting together a product. So we do as much as we can to make sure that the product is improving. Good Evening Ghana has been running since 2001 up until now. We believe that we are still the topmost current affairs conversation every Tuesday and Thursday. That's what we believe. However, if an important person like an MP and a minister describes himself as a former viewer and that he doesn't like the format of the program anymore because it is not just political, it is comical, it doesn't raise real issues, it doesn't analyze much, we take that as feedback. We believe that we are doing a very solid work in terms of even court analysis from 2020 selection petition. Many viewers tell us that when it comes to court issues, they wait for Good Evening Ghana to explain it, and that our capacity to explain these philosophies of law have really helped them to understand a lot. They also tell us that the short documentaries that we put together about political events in Ghana is particularly gratifying to them. Many people call us from across the world all the time. We don't have other ways of measuring the program except the viewership that DSTV will report, and also what Facebook is reporting and what YouTube is reporting. If we put all this data together, we see that we have a tremendous following. The minister would like to caution us that that following may not be, it may be numbers, but it may not be part of the critical mass. If that is so, we take it as feedback. But we will continue to present our show the way that we do it in a very feisty way. The other point that we have made all the time is that no politician, whether you are on the left or on the right, is prevented tacitly, overtly or covertly from attending Good Evening Ghana. If any politician, whether it's NDC or NPP, wants to attend Good Evening Ghana, the door is open for anyone to attend. In the critical mass part of the election, Mustafa Bande, who is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, called and wanted to find out whether I host NDC people on the show. And I said, well, he was criticizing that you don't host NDC, only one side. I said, oh, my brother, you can come. And he came, and we had an interview. On that interview, he was very critical of NPP, and I hosted him. There was another time that I had a small conversation in terms of a political quarrel with unfortunately he passed, Mutala, and then I discussed it on TV. Then I traveled. I think Annie was hosting the show. They called me and said, look, Mutala wants to come. I said, oh, but of course he should come. He came on the show and he had opportunity to express himself. So there's no issue about somebody cannot come. Any politician who wants to come, I'm delighted to grant Felix an interview on Good Evening Ghana. He can say all that he wants to say, but we believe that we have held up onto the political history of this country with data facts in a way that not many television programs have in their repertoire. If we go to our internet terabyte space, the amount of shared.
Abusianunti Paula do much you say in some Felix of Osukwacha canning now. On the other fan is a feedback. It's and say, Sebi will be about shop and I say, what better wadi and away you so not and all cancel with the sea de wadi ya me torn with the mean tobium. Yes, and say, intino. And then na a very good feedback, a positive criticism or no sha ebetumi aboa no se na be ya show no ebetumi akoso yie na Good Evening Ghana no ba che se on sha dan nyine ni se o se no sa da bi na mom show no so obi a pese obasoba obetumi abaso bi The NPP foreigners epese omoba omo ena eneno omo frefre say yepese yebo kan ya se mayo cheche we mu enu nti na akoye de senia auto one lane no but there be enya sa NDC funds we say amoso maba aben mu no mo pese mo ba na mo be yi nsem bia no na mo pese mo ba na o interview mu na mo cheche nsem bi mu a eno ane se mo akache ni se o Paul enwumre buki yen na omo nso ono nso we buki mu na chese mo ba na asem bi e wo ho se mo pese mo kano na fe de mo kana Ghana fo nyina atena mom ono de on share dan nyine ni say all your partisan politics in line with the NPP eno ene nsema ye Paul Adom Ochi e de reply ye minister in charge of government communication Felix Ofosukwachi eno ene nsema eno nso ekọ ho was sa interview no eso le moving on to the next update na ye movie on the late founder of Kantanka Automobile and ono anso leader of Christo Asafo Missions no ye nyina ye nim so for Kantanka ye nyin asinkwala nyina ye beti ni din ene papai wakanchini egu on ni atiasefo asase esubiom na mro wuye no ana na nkofo bebre ebisa se papa why na ebedi na ade ni nyuma bebrebe a watetetete enyuma oye a chese otimi se inventions ni bi ho no ma first kwa ye hwe bi wo TV so TV bi wo ho no ma ubo nsempe na edum usan bo nsempe na aso it was very, very fancy because ni nim a lot of knowledge about all these things. Now, I could PMO say Neba Safo Junior and finally, Obedi Pape Ade as the rightful heir for this entire transition course no and I say inheritance course no ono ensem ena chese aba eno ene ensem eno so course in the line and then in the family house of Suffolk and Tanka edi enije abre afofro na out of way no ahana na opese obemo.
So the issue with Suffolk and Tanka was here clarify what is really happening. So there's been a back and forth with the family members and I was sharing the reports by reports nearby, you know, the family members brought out a letter say anyone be or person will deal with the Suffolk and Tanka family regards with Apostle Kujusaf for the upcoming burial. You don't need to deal with Suffolk and Tanka Jr. And then this particular Suffolk Jr. He was recently on a podcast, Connected Minds. This podcast, of course, so I think some few months before Papa demise. And in there, he was questioning, say, your father has built a lot of things. He has dreams and aspirations, but then he wants these things to continue in a way. Into wine a bit my baby twaso. And information or say, you know, he believes, say who is next in line or be inherited the dream and I say the best chance and right now that time Papa say not when he dies. Now at the same time to now no a year Osibo Zaraman Echo OKFM and no go to just say to him because Zaraman so no so quite sorry your friend is saying
Christo
Asafo and no to just say the rightful heir according to them. One so your friend is Sarah Joseph. But the issue here is that Sarah Joseph, she does not do anything in relation to tech. She's a lawyer. She's an MP. It was this man who was the CEO.
Exactly.
So now there's a new video about it. Say, you know, Papa no on any kasai a brand not tears, and the man seemingly kind of suggested say he is the person on Twaso. I think we have the video here. Snippet to Babaka.
Speak about why normally after the third generation it doesn't survive. You see, there's always a problem with transition. If it's done early, it helps. If it's done later, there's always chaos. Now, people spend time with the chaos bit. People's families spend time with the whole, why is it not with this person? We spend time doing that. Whilst there's a legacy to be protected, there's a legacy to be grown. So during that time that we're spending fighting around amongst each other, and the worst case is when you have a family where there are different mothers. That is where the problem is. Because everyone is supporting a child to be at a certain point where they feel they will be comfortable. Do you understand? Personal and selfish.
Yeah, so that is exactly what really happened now. You could see clearly, say, he was saying, say, if there's any transition should be done. And now that the panel, you could see problems with Bra.
Nana, I think that I agree with him because in Sembi or Honoma, Otiasia, no baya, now I yen Prequies to Trompa, Eodia, no Jimpa, now I gen Prequinti, send your kind situations be or Honoma, yen, African parents, no be or Honoma, a polygamous home. Now, worry more than one. Into a banisana, a man in Emma expect to say. Japadi bi baba me ba we nchen na sa didie ne baba me ba we nchen nti aba ne sa na there a lot of friction any rivalry contentions e hu hia e de ba busuan mu nti e sa na japadi ka ni fa ne ja ne yan hwe ne ye kwa na akose nti I think say I very much agree with him on that fact say bibi wo honum na say obeja e de ama ebusuan obeja ma wo ma o ti ase na se wuntumi nturo well krampo a o de fro bi frɛ lawyer na ka kire no ka se a lawyer for no can say ma omo to me etro edeto ho se ne awo kan ye na pepempenti ne ama bi wo hon ma ne de aye sua de.
Okay, so straight up, there is an issue about Sam Georgia. People are blasting himself. Papa no shit the we are all living a life now. Kamiako say right now he has started appointing family and friends. Now Sam George Oko Perez Chapel, which is being headed by Bishop Ajin Asare. And now, according to Sir Obama, who is a popular, it's Obama Nancy, but according to him, Sam George is now involved in this kind of appointing church members and even Ajin Asare and the baby. And it's on the screens. So I read what is on the screens for. It's a Babaka.
All right. There's a new NCA board of directors inaugurated. The Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, Honorable Samonete George, has inaugurated the newly constituted board of the National Communications Authority, NCA, at a brief ceremony held at the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation in Accra. And NTSA Minister I inaugurate and our appoint and so no on my inauguration ceremony kama amankophobia from a board of directors or mobile buano ewe juma or yeno as a Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. Na yentua so I'll say the newly inaugurated board members are into the siano share board members are wafa almost omo meboano no nye juma ne di kan Madam Mavis Ampa ono board chair Madam Mavis Ampa na yetwa so yesanso Reverend Engineer Edmond Fianco. Reverend Engineer Edmond Fianco ono acting Director General of the NCA and also honum na yetwa so yesanso Honorable Mohammed Adam Sukbaru, meaning say din me boni ye dia Honorable Mohammed Adam Sukbaru no Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation. And Mr. George Atabuating, ono a member, I believe. Yes, also was Mr. George Sapon, ono so a member. And ye were Dr. Augustina Odame, ono so be a board member. And Mr. Mahama said Sayibu, ono so a member. And and a catch no and Emma in call for a raise the eyebrows besides no family and friends church members ben association ben and Sam George I said Dr. Selassie Ajenasare Ajenasa Bishop Ajenasare neba bema on also a can board who as a board member and on a man call for a be a who answer so mokra. Finally, no your Madam Barbara Sewa Asamoah or also account as a board member. Nana Pacho Bremo.
Okay, so that is exactly what is really going on. I could see clearly say there are issues people are saying that this is clearly a family and friends affair. Remember, say this same Sam George, he was in cahoots with someone who could do Blackwell. And the family and friends government, and now that they are in power, it's like they are doing the same thing. It's, according to say Obama or Pacha say, if there's any investigation, especially in regards to the code of ethics, mama edema appointees. According to the more Pacha say, based on all of these things, Sam George is already breaching them, and then the whole code of ethics near the mom is just a formality.
But do you know, say, interestingly, so some Ghanaians are saying, say, if the gentleman is a doctor as an a portrainer, then probably he's learned enough to be a part of the board. In Kofobi, so omunim the NTR, say Obama, any other people are saying, say this is a family and friends. So far as they be an independent crata, a qualifier to be as an expert, no. Why can't he be part of the board?
So the issue here is that we want a fair and good process. Okay. Saying I can't see a friend is there's a word use in terms of a friend is a family and friends. So a friend is saying your family and friends in a particular year. Okay. There's a word in terms of social studies. Okay. So is it? Oh, neocracy or something. Okay. Something like it for me. I'm actual comment time. So basically, there are people also qualified to be on that board. But then once at the end of the day, all far people close to you, the opportunity could have been open. Then you wave us, okay, at the end of the day, person A, person B, person C. Then we pick the best. But what I said, the fact that a male doctor needs no qualifier. That is where people have. Yes, and that is where the big problem is. Go share Pinaxtv has here. You perceive a fool because you juma. Who are equally good like us. But then we want to go through the process, and then basically what we also want to do is say, if even together with the people we know. If the people we know win, and as Omudin kind, it was our field now. Fine. So that is one of the big questions among for can say. Clearly, Sam George is basically breaking his code of conduct here to say issue a question. But I will come back to that particular issue because there is a lot to talk about. Menuka say there's an issue ongoing between Mame Sewa and your Dobruni. So these are the two wives, okay, of Papa Daddy Lumba, the late DL. But we are learning that there are more women in the background. Now, this whole thing are question issue where I question. We are learning currently say now we are to just say on the 6th of December 2025 Baba Yara Sports Stadium. But apparently, Sewa Akosia Sewa, who happened to be the first wife of that Lumba Edebetuja, say she was not involved in the process. And now Menuka saying she's seeking or the seminar quarter Osiki said she should be the only person should be recognized as the only legitimate wife. I'll be performing a camamre the widowhood right. And she even cited said Owarida Lumba legally in 2004. Or something chair said way back in 2000 or something chair said all these things are questioning on that Lumba will be brave. Or something the two just said that Lumba na or Namhon or a German Ghanaian or who a dual citizen. So Menuka say although Bruni some of their Bibles a lot of reactions about. Now quickly let's watch this particular video of what people are saying because some people are against others too are also saying some are all and one. So it's more like a 50-50 approach here. Yeah, share this particular video of what one person or no so or no better to more say it was a very good move for if it's Akosia Sewa to sue the family, and according to her, no more showdown and honestly, some of the news you be break your mouth in terms of that Lumba, you realize that a bombshell because at the point in time, it seems like that Lumba will on nice scalp onibi. Yeah, share this particular video. Baba
that Lumba ire Akosia Sewa. Hey, mama is smart and she's some that Lumba ire Akosia Sewa. Hey, mama is smart. And that Lumba ire Akosia Sewa. Hey, mama is smart. And she's somebody I will call a tactically inclined person. That Lumba ire Akosia Sewa. Share sign injunction not there got to a year no so no. And yet better as I was your for. And yet better so I'm just finding out that Daddy Lumba is a German citizen. And a Germany for so they do not recognize a dual citizenship. Because you say once you're German, they got married under German law. Until for Asamna no ye ding and a Daddy Lumba, so he didn't take any steps to revoke his citizenship. Meaning say oh you're Germany for the year completely. Until baby because you say what they Asamna call one. Muya ya din or Dobro News. And she's my name too, namesake Priscilla. Hey. So Bushafon Transian resolve yes same way. They mean to say Bushafon they left her out of the decision making. They didn't seek her consent or anything like that. And that is why or the injunction. But why? It's over so your legal wife. And I Daddy Lumba ye Germany for you. You're not gonna afford you. A year no crown of a year no crown some more because he's governed by Germany for law. I'm not a day. I go yes.
So that is exactly what a year that Lumba needs some air question. But then some people are also coming out to say that Lumba ne onye if she tries, they will match up to her. And these are basically threats to her or amount for party say that Lumba ne no only stop pay ebusian for because that Lumba no or ebusian for dia onye the bona fide property of the woman. And information so I ever say. Apparently, that Lumba any a year Nigeria Akusia Sewa omu divorce some years back, over 17 years ago. It's papa way or babeka so patch say Sewa Akusia Sewa or you be also din you pal on Fakosia fem no for me to just say a bra that Lumba ni jaya no Akusia Sewa and chimpna with Chidana entry video a babaka a better
Akusia Sewa me to challenge amount say for snap answer the good form say eye papa na sese wo da fom a wo se oye kunu no se oti ase no na wo ntwempra akosu ase wa fansa egu fom se papa na wo se oye kunu no oti ase no a wo ti Germany no emre tenten na wo ko a wo ti Germany ho no anya bia na wo ntwempra fansa egu fom akosu ase wa me se fansa egu fom na san wudin se me se papa no tia sina wo ti Germany no what you chimpra go frof wabu ba ho hwie basa ansu ya madam so ba bi tra me say fansa snap begu from say me ba ki su se papa no tia sina wo ti Germany no mame what you chimpra enti se ansu ya to ba bi na tra na anya bia da de lumba ba Ghana no no be ye ho hwini and obey your Korean sunny and no did that got him and na braboye basa mame nku ye no nka wonan ensiase enka dade lumba wu ye no mame enka wonan ensiase anya bia wo busua no na yansani bia ni mu a obetimi atufu se yahu se anya bia papa na wo so ye okunu no oni oba bia wo ba ko mienu miensa ne nan ya da bia onanam TV so ne ba bia fo mo ne nam no anya bia wo busuani bia ni ho a otimti ho kire wo da ana wo busuani bia no otim ka kire wo se yahu se asimasi se no ye bia ntimi aka kire wo da wo busua panini antimi amfra amfa to anim da se ba ma na yekogina ho ware no ma wo no sei ene yehu wo no wo busua panini wantimi aka sa so na kire wo anya bia wo se wakodi 100,000 euros Ediama eye papa na wo da fom no wo wakodi 100,000 euros di ama da dinumba samai tiase a eye sa onu di sa asemu ya waka to no so se samai da dinumba samai tiase a eye ntro a wadi egu papa no so nyina no se samai tiase a eye sa onu di se bakodi 100,000 euros di ama da dinumba na wo da dinumba no ni da dinumba ni born na see 1 to 1 no how many years ni Oni papa na no sia ye no mame how many years ni wo se wo den junction beto da lumba na yie ene ni funu so wo be prefunu wo be prefunu papa na tiasere wantimi ampre no ni papa tiasere wantimi ampre no mana me yawo dia wo ye na wo be prefunu mame wo ye failure me say Presla a defeat you Daddy Lumba Busia for so SC defeat to account. We say Presla a defeat to Daddy Lumba Busia for SC defeat to account. A year my I'm sure 980 in Siasi. Me see a year no I'm sure ya 980 in Siasi. Abusia Penny. Mami we say me say wa twetwem pana wo di free and the kada de number funu na ye be dan no enti say mami we say me boa on fansa engu form and sign din amye ko so say wa me say wa twetwem pana wa ba ho hwie wo Germany e wo da de number chi say wo say yo kunu dia me say fansa snap gu form na sign wo din say wo betumi a fa snap gu form na sign wo din ansa na wa kwa kodi kuna nya sa what you proud of the number here, or what now the number of fraud, what can walk. I swear. So if you say what you proud of penalty, that's how say this uncle is the same way. So what now say would you could add that the number or best so inside the what can walk. Fansa, good form, na fasa would be. Ya go near Mama, but why would you say on Cramino, Momu Yakasa? Why would you say on Mount Cramino Yakasa? Tis a mamma name why Yamao. The man name why uncomfortable to you. Me say, what about who show up a panachi time on an attempted team that it is Sammy? What you tune proud?
So that is just the first part of it because in 70 baby. Now, on the screens, no, your friend is that Lumba, the first wife, Akusia Sewa, time I want to neba or mobile Ghana, just that or mobile. There will be a part of the 1 week celebration. No? We'll come back to that issue. But then in the same court issue, no, Akusia Sewa, the lawyers at the same Tuja. According to Akusia Sewa lawyers, some more parties say, you see, there's arguments on social media say Wanyashi and Bwada Lumba, which you hear according to your party say a false. I didn't tell Okasa. You be caught because you phone so about because my reply Akusia Sewa. But then you perceive share exactly what Akusia Sewa is now saying. Akusia Sewa patch say a bra Daddy Lumba etiaseno some over 17 years ago. Omo last born no. Daddy Lumba eja Akusia Sewa ho ewo Germany eno fi Germany eba Ghana. Na oba ye no as oyi no ho efi ebusuanim. Now, even cry we no cry far from we no cry from a year the issuer. One other issue so I be to Johnny say a year that Lumba no according to a year Akusia Sewan or G alone of almost 100,000 your friend say euros up to now no Akusia Sewa wait 62 years, but still she's working to pay that loan because that loan not G and according to what we are learning also or the bois. A year your friend is saying that Lumba. Now let's put this on the screens because I ain't saying be saying here can. Now I'm for be and can one no be a jam baby so fake news near the other. Remember I said Ibusuan Fono so Ababe Kasa in this particular instance. I think so they had an interview with a year one of this networks. So we'll come back to that. But let's put this on the screens for you to know exactly where we are heading towards and what a year Akusia Sewa is saying. And clearly, no, you could see clearly say, si ebe ye ne jane pa dia ene ye ne de ensay. Ebe ye ne jane pa in some obe hwiegu ho no. Ebe wie ye no asha that woman start you na ye say ebe ye ne enye. Yes, that is it. So let us put this on the screens. Now, you share a snippet of what we are talking about. Yeah, we are. Ni akwahwe busuanfo no so omuso mabeva wo say akusia sewa opeompeu at the end of the day no funeral no ebekọ so but we are learning say they are still in talks with her nti yemfa we into screens no so ye two screens so o sha o say akusia sewa's lawyer details why his client continues to work at 62 years evokes sorrow. The lawyer of Akusia Sewa is trending in the wake of his latest comments surrounding the suit filed against Odo Bruni and the head of that Lumba's family. Speaking in an interview, opened up about what his client had to go through while that Lumba left her in Germany. Lawyer William Kusi then spoke about the resolve of his client to ensure that Odo Bruni is not recognized as a widow in the ongoing, as a widow during that Lumba's funeral. Into Utie Sama Oka, or party said that Lumba no. Bonnie and that Lumba Eddie Akusia Sewan say a cap upon the rooms on any papa. And aside from that, too, your bad down one, which I'll try and get that screenshot. Or see that Lumba Akusia Sewa could a loan of 100,000 Ghana euros. Our Germany. As I mean, a bra or wolf franca, I was saw the yedding or the boy that Lumba near that Nina, a idea a woho. So what I say, but Nina no that lumba eja no hono, wa foforo. That lumba also support that lumba when fee wa fa play wa bagana. Into oba no wa foforo de no beye. Into okoji loan 100,000 euros. Into 100,000 euros loan no okoji yen. Be pemene. Akusua sewa egusu etua hoka. Now, far from that, also edit to us. So I think we have the screenshot here. Let's put this on the screen because I am saying people want to have the feel of it. And I'm not mean any side and not any other side, but then it is giving said that Lumba really did not treat this particular woman very well. We into screens, so now at the end of the day, follow exactly what is really going on in regards to the whole fight about that Lumba and okay, so we have the screenshot what has it for show the whole screen so there are two screens you see here enlarging this also coming from yen or more reports or more buy or say then lawyer Kusi disclosed that Kusia Sewa has still been unable to pay off the loan she took years ago and continues to work at 62 years. If you were Akosia Sewa, you will understand this. When that Lumba left Ghana, their last born was still a baby. What Akosia Sewa told me was that she took out a loan of over 100,000 Dutch marks, that's 51,000 euros, which she has still not been able to pay off. Into your say a brother Lumba ejano ewo Germany hono. Now still now or abofra na is onum nufuo. What I say, which was their last born, and that Lumba ejan hono ba Ghana. Now that Lumba ba Ghana is an scano emba wawa onya support okoji a loan of almost 100,000 Dutch marks. And no 51,000 euros, which also came with interest. Also tuahoka. Yes, and to us now see today at 62 years, she still has to work. All this happened during their marriage, so it is not as simple as they think. She was breastfeeding while the young lady took him, that Lumba, somewhere. Into a point, say, Ebra na Kusia Sewa, Ewa Germany on that Lumba, Ewa, all of a sudden, that Lumba, Eba Ghana, one baby, no. Akosia Sewa, passes through the lawyers, so I say, Odo Bruni, that Lumba, Echo far baby, and a papa now drinking a fin and basso. Until last born cry, na Akosia Sewa, one no. That Lumba one training ni unsure. And nuntina mamene kwaji. A friend is a loan of 51,000 euros. And audition ibusia. Up to now, 62 years ka mami da so the equijuma. Into also she was breastfeeding while the young lady took it. The young lady now all can once MCC ano odo bruni. Somewhere, the young lady took that Lumba somewhere. She has been deprived for all these years, and now when the man dies, we are being told that she also has to be. We are being told that she also has to be a widow. She cannot agree to that. Inti omon 17 nyane says si ana papa no tias no wasasidi a waje no we no still na wo say yen san so bon hweman fro ne ema wo embe perform widowhood rights. Kebi enti sa ebro otias no wetima age no ene na wo ene na twempena ama na ma ofia ensi wa be wontimi megirem say wo na oye widow no na oware okra na first wife, second wife affair no. You can't say or no second or double second wife. And Akosia say why first wife. Meanwhile, the family members no of Ayeda Lumba, Omudin Simbia Babe Tuja, they are reacting to this. Okay, and according to their reaction, one party say in some way you know, they see it very funny because Obiwa Oyebusia die onye oyere ana okunu die. So if our issues be their ways anka said you bit matna but so far no they court and I wasn't leaky the court details no at social media that's sorry and now can say to the point say busia penny eka say yen hwene can same way ye say e brother Lumba e ba Ghana ne ho fa no where was Akosia Sewa yen hwe a bit of the baba Captain Small so na no abetu so nim ye beto aso
say na be mate Ghana no so ti Germany be man buy and so ni rimpo na so ni mpna o Ghana ha ho na ehwe no ebusuan na ehwe ne dia na so wato ebusuan so a se ebusuan fo be kra wo ma de san se ni ire no na ata abrochi mo tia manane wo fan ho be no so betena se woni obi aso no na se bia ba mo wato nsa afre ne dia asem no wo kan fa ho so nti se obi wato ne mamu dia na se also to baabi a waba anamo ase wotu anso bekọ abusua no ho se bi kura mekunu ba naja ne ho dodo no dia na so na enye kese esa obeduru hai mate so afiri mu ofiri mu so bi amon frɛ men kan kyerɛ na me amaba ebebusa ase obai so my to man na so ba na so bitia no na tena ase ne pakuru astrate no ne ho ne ma sebe ba mu watu nsa afre na se busua ne pakuru ai ba ko dia me de me hu se ntokwa a wo ko na kyerɛ no so obi na etunufo dia ayemwa sanse ukunu oso ejemani ni wabetra Ghana obai kwelumba so obai beburu be afi ansa na obi firi mu obai o hwe ni kunu no waso ne wo mampanifo me ne mane tabruchi ono mudi djuma bai se wo ma me kura no papa was ma e ba ofa ho bai enkura ne bai
ande yin tumi
se enkura ne ba dia anka enkura betim dum se se ebo se ye kura ye ma ye papa betra Ghana no yeso ye ba be di be bosum na otwemi no bi kura hwe ye papa ansa na ye sa akwe ekwenji ni nyina mu bi ama wa firi mu na se ebusua atoto ne ma awi afi na se obetwe ho manso efunu manso so what you say person busa what you say
is it no che say ebusuafo no eye nhyehyɛ ye ho hyehyɛ no ya mo na mane ono so ye Ghana ha no tie
onte Ghana ha na se wukunu awu se wutuwe
na se na wotwe da ndi oba pedi na wotwe
obedi na wotwe bi oni ebusuansa atena ase etu anamo to aso
na na bia na ebusuafo no hyehyɛ o me nyino ma mo na mane
ebusuafo no hyehyɛ o ma mo na mane entu ma mo na mane na wotwe na so te abru tiri wan frɛ no
ote ne yo ba
na so TV so na social media ben na ohunu se wokunu na wotwe na oba ya na
na se bia ebusuafo e hodin de ebusuafo ne bo na mane
ebusuafo ne bo na mane dia se ne yase oyi na se ko be ma ne kura wuto no so Germany ho a oba bebo ebusuafo na mane na ebusuafo so apem na ko so no so oba na ebusuafo o Ghana amane.
Therefore, so this whole issue, no, it is far from over. Yes, this whole issue, no, it is far from over. Now, Minoka say Captain Smart is the latest to react to this whole issue at Air Koso. Captain Smart about the Kensem about this whole Sewa Bruni, some of their court, any other party say, you know, ain't me embasso. But Captain Smart, according to Captain Smart, party say, you know, this whole thing at Air Koso, no, court case near the Adeno, to him, no, a bogus. It doesn't make sense. Captain Smart Ababe reacted. Now, I think we have the video of what Captain Smart said. You better say, if you video never back, if we are near some control, it was some phone some almost an air can so because in some day, Yanshin that Lumbano, a bit Macobe, your friend is a 1 year crying intimacy, all because of the tension. Because you know, the ban, okay, the offense injunction at a year so. It is not really looking good at all for a year Charles Kojo Fusu. You can share this particular video of what a year in Yabema a year Captain Smart edited about this whole issue. By better to us.
Boss, come on, see Boko.
Bonne ho, Kumasi Boko.
That's right. You better lumber ye on the 6th.
Can I get that?
Ubiye ni wobet me stop here, you know. Ebe baso. We a believer. Who too for that Pakem Bedulumbe, yes, I have a court in Yanshin, the bra. I have a bra. You better channel. Very fine. Aga, boss, come on, see Boko.
Bonne ho, Kumasi Boko.
That's right. You better lumber ye on the 6th.
Can I get that?
Ubiye ni wobet me stop here, you know. Ebe baso. We a believer. Who too for that Pakem Bedulumbe, yes, I have a court in Yanshin, the bra. I have a bra. You better channel. Very fine. Aga, boss, come on, see Boko.
Bonne ho, Kumasi Boko.
That's right.
So that is it. You can see clearly say a Captain Smart or a friends with the manager of that Lumbano. Clearly no, ni engine who say Adintiana a year air cost distribution for Ashe. Na or yere ba ko say o no de on ti ase adintia video hood rights no ono pe na sabiu what say your friend is saying your money di. These are big questions are air cost into also or their court. So there are a whole lot of questions are air cost so bisa say okay sisi ano or their cost no or they a year case na court which means a year no embasso na bibi so afo no so air can be from. We know can say you know the issue about widowhood rights no and no na action ebusuapeni no amafo atwea ben ebusuapeni ebi se ebusuapeni say see an say that Lumba na illegally wedded wife ba which is Akosua Sewa inti widowhood rights na e wo say ye ma Akosua Sewa pe e no se debi that Lumba e bra na ote ase no odobroni oware no. Don't take my word. There's a video I watch. Also, so all the necessary rights are a no. Papa na ye. He's done all the necessary rights. Sebiu uwari obi a waso ye ni nyina. What I say, but acquire say esikan ena aba eye omuntem ane unse mbadie omutwe krasa ani adia. That is it. So according to her no. That's exactly what is really going on. According to him, that's what is really going on. About the status of a friend is saying Odobruni, if Odobruni marriage rights now if Odobruni also have the legal backing, say in Bremuno, will she be allowed to also partake in this whole friend is saying widowhood right and also no in terms of property ni sika ni de be fima ba no, does she even have any right to be part at all? I think so the video is ready in here share exactly what really went on and in sema ebusuapeni no edi tudwa ye babaka ye beto aso.
Nti ene de eden ese mehwehwem enti hwehwemu no ese opini wachi nti eno no ntumi mfa bibi antudwa sa asem no hwehwemu hwei wo so ko ye so wona ne te ho mpa wona ne te ho wona na wo mba nti so ya ne ho ade so anya ne ho ade wansa minni no de bede ne ma wa bede wo nti ese mebusa na mehunu mu so mebusa ya mehunu mu no ye hu sa mpa akoya ne ho ade. Okay. Nti wakwa ne ho ade kura na still me hu mampanyi na me nkwa ahemfie ene mpanyifo nkasa akra me tumi fa metudwa. Okay. Because mampanyi ubehunu obetumi asa de se bia sa ata me my program bi me nya ho anase enti me nkasa ti na me kan che o se me call nure ya enure edue me call ya me dia to nanim a ye hu se date e pese ye bibia ma hu enam dia betudwa enti mentumi hu Ghana fo se me ka se me ko hwehwemu na me nya hwehwemu wihe eno ne so matem didiem eni edidi matem nanso so nyankopon ene nananom nyina ehwe yen ehu de ye ka se ye no kure na ye twa nkontompo yakogiska odehye ukogiska awu bi ono waye ukogiska na waye dai
chese enwanwa ense si awaji atum se Odobroni oba wanfo no na chese hwan na sese oyi kuna
when it comes to kuna na meka no sese aye hu se waye ne ho ade ne de se ummienu nyina na se oyi kuna. Okay, person de na minim enam ka se me ko hwehwe enti se media for na aye ne ye omodea na efunu no da ho na ye omodea na kodwofusu ye omodea wo ma no ode omso omdo omedi atema omonya niye na ti nyamene nananom ma wo omonkoso na ye de se ye ka no kura kopem se ye bewu
yenya ne tie se ye maami Akosua Sewa de injection bi atu bi so eno nso clear wo kakra ma ye etesen
se obi ka se ode injection atu ade so a se injection ho na de to so
court
na nko court a ye de injection atu wi
debe
nti me de enu injection bi a emfa injection bi antu obi a
okay na sese nso emma no ne abusuani nyina wo magye pene atom se ye no omo nyina betena sia ye ama basabasa ye bi ensi ekire
ye da wase enura nkwa na meko ena enura kura mitufiri wo bedu har ma ho achi eno pe ya masori ena wabai se eba ne sa afi na mbepi machi na mafre abusuani nyina na mato mensa so afre wo mo na eno de omso mo tene mframa mo baka chi mzo se ni na ye mmere wa na ewufie no a kire ye nkunaye ene enema seresi ye no na wo ma nso ye de ato wo manim se kuna ne de wo mumienu na be
okay
eno de enye te first na me se manka ye se makwaje bra binti de se de abusu apanyin nya na mte ye If you so why Yanam, many of fire. No fire, Nekazo. And to one with Funko Bruce. How many of the paying? They can't take, say, ya review. Why no one day, dance for. So Monteasia, a drew her umpire between her dear dancer for a number more. No more summer, no market. It's here.
The Sabusia, a yen so much as say at the same.
A year, she said, dear. She said, dear, my baby. Nipa bako, dear, win ye. Said the make out yourself and run a maybe. I think I may be free meeting. For my teeth were no more trunk. Now, warmer, almost so. And the way I am to me into an amount conquer ye. And woman, better. Na ya toto ni ahihye bibia pepepe ya de ni na so atudwa si ade se meme busa payin kura gina sam na me busa payin ti me hye be se ye ne fa ha na ko adare ne se ebusu ni na ba me won payinfo.
Okay, so it's here for in summer or the two dra and no. So the big question as to whether that Lumba or Wari or Dobro, you know, my answer say or ko hwe wo no information e wo ho say or ma Wari or Dobro ni. It is evidence, any pictures, any law e wo ho na say courts e yi e wo ho ate say or ma Wari. Currently the injunction is still on the funeral of that Lumba. It be see her say because in same bibiri wa about this whole that Lumba issue we need to look at it very carefully. It'll be see as a more update as all of these various events continue to unfold. But according to Captain Smart, according to him, no, Opache says, "Odo Bruni, sewa Bruni pe sewa akusia sewa pe aware a year a bebaso because the 2-4 the date now come 2-4 aje penny say date no he's okay with it until when wine our bit marker say said you are comfort na say it be see I say thank you so much for joining us. We'll be coming live again somewhere around 8:30 with a Ghana news in regards with a Ghana and your friend is saying US for clash or ma clash about deportees.